What's going on, everybody? It's Aurora YJ here, coming at you with another video, and I am super excited because we just got new Gem Knight cards revealed. And funny thing is, this video is going to have to be part 1 out of a part 2, or out of a 2-part little series, I guess, because these aren't even from the Gem Knight Duelist pack. Yeah, these are from Power of the Elements, which is the one that we revealed with the new Neo stuff and the Vernalizer Fairies. But it's not from the pack called Duelist by Pyroxene, which is where they're definitely going to get like more support and be like the centerpiece outside of the more Patronic stuff. So Gem Knight is getting 2 waves of support, and I am here for it. All right, just turned up the gain on my microphone a little bit, so it's probably not too quiet. I have to adjust it because in my last video that I recorded, it's gonna go up after this one. There was a lot of plosives. I think that's how you say it. Yeah, there was a lot of plosives. And I felt really bad about that, and so I had to turn the gain down a little bit, but now I'm sorting it out. I'm sorry if it sounds really bad in this one, but I'm so excited, dude. I love Gem Knights, if you guys didn't know. It's one of my favorite archetypes, especially in terms of aesthetic, also because I love fusions, and Gem Knights was one of the first decks that I built because I combined it with other fusion stuff. And so let's go ahead and get into this. There's only 4 cards, so I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but again, this is part 1 out of 2 parts because they are getting stuff in their deck build pack as well that we haven't seen revealed yet. And so let's go ahead and get into it. I know they got 2 monsters, a fusion, and a spell, which I am super excited for. I'm hoping... So I don't know, I love the FTK, don't get me wrong. I feel like it's really fun, and it's not too oppressive because it's a bit hard to pull off. But I think they're going to try and stray away from the FTK so that there's more of an incentive to actually play Gem Knights themselves rather than play, you know, just Gem Knight FTK. So hopefully we got no, like, a Brilliant Fusion thing that's a bit more specific. So, Gem Knights from Power of the Elements, Duelist by Pyroxene indeed. So first up, we have Gem Knight Quartz, just Quartz, okay. It's a level 4 Earth Fairy with 1500 attack and defense, and you can only use its first effect once per turn. If your opponent controls a monster, you can discard this card, set one Fusion Continuous spell directly from your deck. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except Gem Knight monsters. Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. So, much like how they did with Absorb Fusion, I think they're going to try and lock you into Gem Knights, which is a bit unfortunate considering that Adamancipators are really nice for the deck even without the FTK. I feel like just getting rid of Lady Lapis Lazuli would solve the problem of the FTK entirely and make Gem Knights really fun. So it's a bit unfortunate seeing that it locks you into Gem Knights. However, if we get Brilliant Fusion back for this, that'd be really cool. But if it says, if this card is used as material for a fusion summon and sent to the graveyard or banished, you can add a Gem Knight monster from your graveyard to your hand, except Gem Knight Quartz. Okay, so it's a Lazuli, but for any Gem Knight instead of the normal monsters, which is really good, actually, in my opinion. I hope they stray away from the whole Gem Knight mechanic. It's so bad, just the normal monsters, period. It's like the worst part of the Gem Knight stuff, for real. So hopefully that's something they don't, like, focus too much on like they had before. Next up, we have what looks like a Rose retrain. We have Brilliant Rose. It's a level 2 Light Rock with 500 attack and defense, and it's always treated as a Gem Knight. And you can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. You can discard a Gem Knight or Melodious card to special summon this card from your hand. Ignore the Melodious stuff, by the way. It's much like the other Rose where they're meant to be together. I don't know. And then once per turn, you can send a Gem Knight or Melodious monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. This card's name, type, and attribute become the sent monster's original name, type, and attribute until the end phase. Okay. So I like how they made this a soft once per turn, like the other Rose. That's really cool. Crystal Rose, that's its name. I really like the swarming, though. I do like that because it's always treated as a Gem Knight, so you don't have to copy like the other one did. And so you can just go into a free Phantom Quartz, right? And so I don't know how this is going to be. Copying the attribute is definitely good for like the actual pure Gem Knight builds where like you want to try to go for like OTKs and stuff like that. I'm like, why are so many fusion decks obsessed with OTKs? It's so weird. But yeah, I'm really into the swarming of this card, especially because it is graveyard setup as well. Keep in mind that discarding Obsidian for this actually triggers Obsidian, I believe. I think, yeah, and then you can special a Lapis from your graveyard, or Tourmaline if you want to go for the Rescue Rabbit plays. So yeah, very nice to see indeed. I'm glad this one doesn't lock you into Gem Knights. So yeah, this will be welcome in the FTK variant, actually, for sure. And it will be a welcome in all variants, really. Next up, we have Gem Knight Lady Rose Diamond. Cool, we got another big boss monster. She's an Earth Fairy Fusion Effect monster with a level of 8 and 2700 attack, 2400 defense. She requires a Gem Knight and a Fairy. That is very generic. I love that. The first time a Gem Knight monster you control will be destroyed by card effect each opponent's turn. It is not destroyed. bit specific protection there, but overall fine. And when your opponent activates a monster effect during your turn, quick effect, you can banish a Gem Knight card from your graveyard, then target one face-up card your opponent controls and destroy it. That doesn't look like a once per turn to me. I like that a lot. This is really nice for the OTK variant. If you want to go second and then do a little bit of playing around some of the opponent's stuff and just getting this out and using some things to bait out the negates so that you can keep using her effect, that is really fun from the sounds of it. Like, I can imagine having her out, and then your opponent keeps using monster effects during your turn, even if it's not negates, just disruptions, period. And then it's a when, so it's a direct chain. So you can just go pop, 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 and you can make way for your really big hitters like Lady Brilliant Diamond, Master Diamond, all of them. She might be used in the FTK variant as a fallback piece, much like how Naturia Beast is a fallback piece in case you don't FTK, you can at least set up a board. But she'll definitely be welcome in the OTK variants of the deck. And also, look how pretty that artwork is. I love that a lot. That is definitely going on the thumbnail. And for the final piece of support, we have what's probably a Brilliant Fusion retrain. It's called Scatter Fusion. You're definitely supposed to be able to set it off of Quartz. So Scatter Fusion can continue a spell, and you can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. If your opponent controls a monster, you can fusion summon a non-rock Gem Knight fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your deck as fusion material. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except Gem Knight monsters. When this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. Okay. So, fusion summoning specifically a non-rock. I mean, we have Lady Rose Diamond as a fairy, which is a really good target, for sure. Let's see, we have Seraphinite as a fairy. We have... Sorry, I'm looking through all of them. We have 2 Aquas, being Amethyst and Aquamarine. We have 2 Pyros, 2 Thunders, that's 7. Wow, there are a lot more fusions than I remember. So yeah, there's roughly 7 non-rock Gem Knights in the extra deck if you don't include Lady Rose Diamond. So there's a lot of targets, but the thing is, most of them are super bad. Like, even the OTK builds, they really don't like playing a lot of the non-rocks. The rock ones are the best ones, right? You got Master Diamond, you got Lady Brilliant Diamond, you got Zirconia even for being big. So I feel like other than Lady Rose Diamond, you probably won't be summoning very many of the non-rocks. You might summon Seraphinite, but most Gem Knight builds don't even use Seraphinite, hence why I think Brilliant Fusion can come back if Seraphinite dies. And so it's a bit disappointing, especially because your opponent has to control a monster, so they really want you to play the OTK build. Like I said, I figured they would try to stray away from the FTK build because people think, you know, it's really toxic, which, I mean, I don't know. I think FTKs have their place in Yu-Gi-Oh! As an alternate win condition, but it really depends on the deck. I like that at least it only locks you from the extra deck from non-Gem Knights, but it's still really unfortunate for things like Adamancipator, Raptite, and stuff. So I don't really know, man. That'd be cool if it just said, like, well, I mean... See, they can't do that because, I was gonna say it'd be cool if it locked you into rock, but they can't do that because not all of them are rock. I feel like if they would have just kept the extra deck ones as rock, we wouldn't have problems like this. So this is a bit of a letdown in terms of our Brilliant Fusion retrain. I hope we just get Brilliant Fusion back, period, at least to 1, so that Quartz can be playable. But I mean, hey, at least you can set Future Fusion. Alright, anyways, what do I think about this new support for Gem Knight as a Gem Knight player myself? Well, it's definitely not made for the FTK build. None of this, except for Brilliant Rose, can really be used for the FTK build. Mainly just because they lock you out of things, and also the fact that Lady Rose Diamond expects your opponent to have a turn. I figured as much that they would try to stray away from the FTK due to the controversy behind FTKs as a whole in the card game, and the fact that Konami eventually does get rid of FTKs, including the Machina Ruin Force one, which wasn't even really doing anything. So that's a bit respectable there, but I do still love the Gem Knight FTK. It's my favorite variant of the deck to play, and I think it's not that oppressive. So coming from an FTK player, I think the Brilliant Rose is going to be a very, very welcome card for the deck, especially for being able to... copying is actually not that bad, by the way. Like, copying is really cool for being able to copy the type and attribute. But mainly, I'm going to love the special summon from hand. That's going to be really cool. And yeah, it actually does trigger Obsidian. I looked that up just to be safe. I just remembered it has to be sent from hand to graveyard, not by a card effect, just period. And so yes, this will trigger Obsidian, and so if you have a Lapis Engrave or a Tourmaline, you can special it and go for a free Phantom Quartz, which I think is really cool. So Brilliant Rose is a very good addition to the deck. I love that a lot. And I like that you can summon it off of the Adamantipator still, and they didn't make it like a fairy or something like for some reason. I think Quartz was a valiant effort at trying to, you know, give you access to either the retrain of Brilliant Fusion or Brilliant Fusion Period if we do get it back, which would be awesome, by the way. But I do think that locking you, like, specifically into Gem Knights from, like, hand, deck, extra, literally everywhere, I think that's the real letdown, because Gem Knights work so well with the Adamanticators, and so it's really frustrating. That's like if Megaliths said that you can only summon Megaliths, right? And you couldn't be able to use the Drytron stuff, you couldn't use the Adamantipator stuff. It'd just be really obnoxious. Or like if all the Tri-Brigade cards locked you into only Tri-Brigades. You know, it's just very obnoxious indeed. It'll probably still see play specifically for the Fusion Summon, like Fusion Material effect, because this one also has your opponent have to control a monster as well. So it is more for the OTK build especially, and so you can't even use this in the FTK, but you'll probably use the second effect for being able to just add things back, which is really solid. And so I do enjoy that a lot. I really like Lady Rose Diamond. It's going to be used by definitely both players, more so the OTK builds or builds that are forced to go first. That's what I really like, is that if you're not playing FTK Gem Knights, you have options going first now, which I find really cool. Because the problem is if you weren't playing the FTK and you were forced to go first, like, what are you going to do? Like, Gem Knights really don't have anything you can sit on for my memory, right? Because I don't know, like, all of them. I'm sorry about that. But I think she's really nice at giving decks a going, or giving this deck a going first play for all the different variants, in case, like, the FTK build fails, or if you're forced to go first playing the FTK. I think a lot of the OTK build fusion decks actually would love something like this. Admittedly, the popping only working on your turn is a bit frustrating, but if you had a bunch of Gem Knights engraved, that'd definitely be super annoying, infinitely getting your stuff popped. But then again, have you read the DDD Machinex? That card's stupid. See, I really love Gem Knight Lady Rose Diamond, and again, her artwork is absolutely gorgeous, and unfortunately Scatter Fusion is a bit disappointing. I don't know if it'll really see much play even in the OTK build. I feel like Brilliant Fusion is overall just better. So overall, what do I think about this first wave of support out of the two we're going to be getting? I think it's fine. I think at least 2 out of 4 of them are really good, and one of them is serviceable in terms of the second effect, and the other one's just kind of plain bad. But I am overall satisfied, especially considering that we are going to be getting more like, there's like a 99% chance we're getting more from Duelists on Pyroxene, right? Unless it was a name mistranslation. But yeah, if that is the case, that we are getting more support, this will be part 1 out of the 2-part little series of Gem Knight stuff, because for now, that's going to have to do it for the video. If you liked it, please sure to leave a like on us. Helps put this video and the channel into YouTube recommended. And if you really liked it and you want to see more content like it, like the rest of my review stuff and part 2 of this, which will be coming out whenever it's revealed, then perhaps consider subscribing, because we're on our way to 1,500 subscribers now that we met our 1,000 subscriber goal. But once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Aurora, signing off.